Today's video is going to be a bit different because I'm not going to share any dating concepts, how to apply them, or how to improve your dating life. But instead, I want to share something that I'm going through in real time myself. So, the last few years, I was in a very fortunate position that I'm pretty much living the exact life that I want to live, that I built ever since I was 18. I work towards this. It's not 10 out of 10 where I want to have it, but it's pretty close. And most of the time, I live exactly what I want to live. And that sounds amazing at first, but it brought a problem for me. And the problem is, and if you watch my older content from last year, you will probably have heard me talk about this, that I kind of lacked a sense of purpose because I was looking for it in the wrong place. I was always thinking about what is my higher goal? What do I want to achieve? Like, what do I want to do? And I was thinking of visualizing it. And I was trying to visualize it because in the past, visualizing what I wanted in life really made it put it into a spot where I could grasp it, where I could work towards it and aligning myself with that vision that I had of myself in the future, where I was like, that's where I'm going. And if I want to achieve that, here, these are the steps I need to take, or these are the potential steps that could get me there. And then I knew what I needed to do. But for the last few years, that hasn't really worked because the image that I have of the future is pretty much just exactly the same as where I'm at now, just maybe in a different setting, maybe in a different city. But overall, I'm doing the same things. And that was often frustrating for me. So I thought about this for a long time. And then I had a chat with a friend last week. And I realized well, what I was really looking for is a certain emotional state. And that made me realize that my goal, and that is the truly inspiring realization I had. My goal is not achieving some physically visible milestone, but rather being in certain emotional states that I really like more often. So, working towards making certain emotional states my default emotional states that I can be in every single day just through how I set up my life and how I create it. And to give you a bit more of an example on this, in 2013, I decided to move to Barcelona to do a language class there, learn Spanish for I believe it was 3 weeks. And I had never felt the feeling that I felt when I moved to Barcelona. It was the first time that I really moved somewhere by myself to a completely new city with the plan of learning Spanish and going out and meeting girls. And I felt this feeling of absolute freedom. I felt super confident. I was in this new city where nobody knew me. I met some other guys that were on the same journey back then, and we were just crushing it, having a blast. And the feeling I had was just I felt amazing, like freedom, fun, adventure, all of this combined. It was a great feeling. And I remember that feeling, but then I didn't really think about it too much afterwards until I went to Thailand last year. And that's when I felt that feeling again. I became aware of the idea that what I'm actually chasing in life is that feeling, that state that I was in that moment. So creating an environment where I can be in that state as much as possible, in that state where anything is possible, where I feel on top of the world. And it's ultimately an emotional state that you can create once you're aware of it, once you're aware of what you want. That's what I'm after now. And I believe that that is what everybody should be after. So think about what the times in your life were that you liked the most and how you can recreate them. And if these were times where you were doing something in a certain setting, like for example, I believe for many people nowadays, when they think back to their favorite time in their life, and I know a lot of guys that tell me that exact thing, it's that time when they studied abroad. So if you ask yourself, well, if that was my favorite time in my life, I loved studying abroad, ask yourself why. What did you love about it? What was so great about it? It was probably you're going to think of a lot of things that happened, but think about it from an emotional state because you liked that time in your life because of the emotion it gave you. So, what were these emotions? And that's what you're actually after. And the goal has to be to bring more of these emotions into your life, having a life that is completely filled with these emotions every single day. That's what really it should be, right? Aim for having those emotions and bringing them into your life. And to tie all of that back into dating, let's think of what women want. Women want a man that they look at, that they find attractive, that they like spending time with, that they find inspirational, right? All of these things, just like we men, we care for women that we find attractive. And there are certain factors that that go into this. Of course, there's looks, but there's also certain other factors. But one of the key factors is that we look at somebody and we find this person radiating. We want that person in our life. And people who are living in alignment with what they want, who are coming from a place of radiating an amazing emotional state, can you see how that will be more attractive to women? Just like you, when you meet a girl that just radiates, that has this energy, this charisma, it's just great to be around her. So imagine if you could be in that state 24/7, or yeah, that is of course the ideal state. Let's say even if you could just be in that state for 1 or 2 hours a day, every single day, because you understand what causes that state in you. Do you see how that could improve your dating life? How that could make you more happy in general? How that could improve just how you feel about your life, and how that would make your life maybe even more worthy of living? At least that's the thoughts that I had in the last few weeks. I know exactly how I'm going to do it. So I know how to do it. I know what I need to have in my life, and I'm going to go after that and just work towards being in that state more and more. Just doing the things that help me towards these top emotions. So it's one emotional state, but I can ultimately break it down into individual emotions that I like to feel, emotional states that I want to be in. And I'm going to leave you on that note. Figure out what matters to you, what emotional states, and go after them with everything you have, because ultimately that's really what matters, right? That's living, right? We want to be in these certain emotional states, and people might tell you that, oh no, you also have to think of these other things, and you have responsibilities, and blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. The only thing that really matters is going after the emotional states that you want to be in. Everything else will come from there, because that is where true happiness lies, right? If you can be in these emotional states that make you feel amazing, you will be happy. You will be in a better place to do the things for others, to help your family, help your friends, date, whatever it is. I feel like I'm rambling at this point, so I'm going to leave you on this. Go out, build the life that you want around the emotions that you want, and I'll see you in one of my next videos.